Hello everyone and welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today your screen looks a little strange for a Delta Battle League battle, but unfortunately the live recording got destroyed because right after the battle I hit save on I hit stop so that it would save it, and computer blue screen, which it's been doing far too often lately, so it probably means it's going to be dead soon. But I can't afford a new computer. If you want to help me afford a new computer, there is a GoFundMe down in the description, and that's solely for a new computer. This is really the only time I mention it, because I don't like to ask you guys for stuff. But, so I went back to try and save it, because Camtasia will usually be like, hey, you want to recover it? So I hit recover, and it'd get to 99% and stop. And it'd say, oh, sorry, the recorder stopped working. Close the program. And I tried that probably 5 times. I shut the computer off, tried it again. Wasn't having it. So, what was probably the best battle of the Delta Battle League that I've had so far is gone. And I'm really upset because it was an amazing live recording. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to try and relay that to you again. I'm not doing webcam right now because I think webcam is part of the reason why it keeps crashing so often, because it's doing too many things. So we'll see if I keep doing webcam until I get a new computer. If I get a new computer, I don't know, we'll see, guys. I really want to keep doing webcam for you, but if the computer's not having it, I can't do it. So anyway, we have week 7 here against the Tampa Bay Duskullers in Aeriodon. I think I'm saying that right. It's like Bastiodon, Aeriodon, you know. But yeah, I have it playing really slow so that I can hopefully get all of my thoughts in, at least, and hopefully I remember my thoughts. So I'm gonna hit that thing. I started off with Melodic. I really wanted to start off with Typhlosion. I forgot to go over the team with you guys though, but I've choice Scarf Typhlosion, which is not max speed. That'll come into play later. I also have a Selfast Guts Conkeldurr, Melodic with Mirror Coat, Gardevoir, who's max HP instead of speed, has Destiny Bond, Magnet Pull, Magnezone with Air Balloon, and then max defense, Armaldo, like I usually have. So I just went for Scald, figuring it'd be the safest play, hopefully get a burn on something that switched in. He brings in Rotom. Here I go for the Mirror Coat. He actually goes for Volt Switch. I was hoping for Thunderbolt, but he ended up going for Volt Switch, which is fine, because he'll still do a ton to whatever comes in. Because it, of course, Mirror Coat doubles the damage of special attacks and returns it, and he brings in Metagross, so I'm liking whatever damage this is going to end up doing. It actually one-shots, and this is his Mega Metagross. So Mega Metagross is down. The rest of his team, if you didn't see, were Rotom Wash, Salamence, Weavile, Crobat, and Gliscor. Now, Mega Metagross was number 1 on that list of knocking out. Now I really want to get rid of Rotom. Once we get rid of Rotom, everything's basically weak to Ice, except for Weavile, but Weavile's pretty frail as it is. So he brings in the Rotom. I don't think I'll live Thunderbolt, so I do switch out here. And he's talking about how he was, he didn't learn his lesson from seeing other Melodics using Mirror Coat. So I bring in Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr can kind of one-on-one with the Rotom when it's Assault Vest and has Guts, because he can't really Will-O-Wisp. He shows the Hydro Pump here. So we've seen Volt Switch, Hydro Pump from Rotom, and Rotom's just going to Volt Switch again. I believe I went for Ice Punch because I didn't think he was going to stay in. If he went into Mence or Gliscor, it's going to destroy him. I think he goes into Weavile though here. Yeah, he does go into Weavile, which is a gutsy play because I actually did click Drain Punch first. But he must have expected me to expect the switch, so he brings in Weavile to take that. I think I just go for Mach Punch, which I do, but he switches out into Crobat. Crobat? Come on, Crobat. There he is. To take that, of course, because it's an obvious play. Why wouldn't you Mach Punch? So I went for the Mach Punch. It does minimal damage to the Crobat. So I'm going to switch out Conkeldurr because I don't want to take a Brave Bird from this thing. It does have Black Sludge, though, so it's going to be getting some recovery. So I'm going to switch out my Conkeldurr because I don't want to take a Brave Bird from this thing. I think Conkeldurr would still be useful. We can Mach Punch the Weavile later. And I'm just going to bring in my Magnezone, knowing I can basically wall this thing if it's going to stay in. Unfortunately, we will be losing our Air Balloon because of it. And he's going to U-turn, actually, getting Crobat out of here. So he's going to be able to bring in something that's going to do good against the Magnezone. I'm assuming he was going to... I was assuming he was going to bring in Gliscor. But instead he brings in the Salamence. Now, I'm like, maybe the Salamence is a special one. Probably runs like Fire Blast. But it's actually... he does reveal Earthquake. So at this point I'm thinking it's Physical Ments. He's got Earthquake. At this point I immediately assumed it was Choice Scarf. So I'm like, okay, Choice Scarfed into Earthquake. I'll just bring a Melodic. Melodic can take it. I can Ice Beam it back. But I know he's not going to stay in because he knows I'm going to Ice Beam him. So I'm going to actually just go for Recover here to get my health back so I can, again, go up against the Rotom, which actually comes in here. So I do end up going for Recover. There it is. And now he knows I have Mirror Coat, so I know he's not going to go for Thunderbolt. So I went for Scald here. He actually goes for Hydro Pump, does 18%. And then I go for Scald, hoping to get a burn. I was kind of wondering if he was going to Will-O-Wisp, maybe. I was kind of thinking Will-O-Wisp for Hydro Pump. And at that point, I see that Hydro Pump is doing about as much as Scald is. So if I Mirror Coat, it's still going to do a ton to this Rotom. So I'm just going to go for another Mirror Coat here. But he actually goes for Pain Split, which is able to bring his Rotom back up. It brings my Melodic down, but I'm at that... And I actually calced during the battle what Thunderbolt would do. And Thunderbolt did about 60 at the most, from what I could tell, with the damage the Rotom did from Volt Switch. So I'm like, I can go for Mirror Coats the rest of the time the Rotom's in. So I'm just going to go for Mirror Coat on this Hydro Pump. It's going to do a nice amount of damage. As long as we get it, there we go. It does 52% from that. So I'm like, alright, I'm going to get some leftovers recovery. And we're at 62. I'm thinking right now, we're going to live this Thunderbolt. And even if we die, it's a roll. So I stay in, go for Mirror Coat. We live it on 10%. And we went for that Mirror Coat. So Rotom is now gone. We don't have to deal with Rotom anymore. Mega Metagross was never a problem because we one-shot it right away at the beginning of the game. So now, the thing I'm worried about most is probably Weavile. Or Men's can still be a problem. It's still pretty scary because it is Choice Scarf from what I've seen so far. And Gliscor can be annoying too, but as long as we keep Melodic healthy, which actually I did sack him. As soon as I said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I sacked Melodic because it's at such low health, and it's so slow compared to everything else, it wouldn't have been able to live a hit. So I just sacked it off, see what this Crobat did, and I believe I went to Armaldo here, I want to say. Armaldo? Hello? Armaldo? Yep, in comes the Armaldo. Stealth Rocks is... I wanted to get Stealth Rocks up because it's super effective with Weavile, Crobat, and Salamence. And it's neutral to Gliscor. So it's he's having to do a lot of switching. So I'm like, I need Stealth Rocks up. It's gonna be good stuff. So Crobat U-turns and he gets a little Rocky Helmet damage off on him, and he brings in the Gliscor. So I just set up my rocks. I'm fine with this. And I'm just gonna stay in and go for Rock Slide to see what this Gliscor wants to go for. Of course, he does get the Toxic Orb off, so he is Poison Heal. I was trying to see if he was Defog or not, and you can only have Defog on your Gliscor if it doesn't have Poison Heal. So I just went for Rock Slide. He went for the Toxic, and I'm like, well, maybe he'll go for Earthquake, but I still want to get Gardevoir in, because Gardevoir will be able to take that, considering we're max HP Gardevoir. So I believe, yeah, I do switch out Armaldo here, because he didn't do much more. So I switch out Armaldo for the Gardevoir, and I actually do pick up Poison Heal. So I was hoping he was going to Toxic me. You know, I think you have to Mega Evolve in this league. I'm not entirely sure. I should look that up before the league ends. But he does go for Stealth Rock. Gets that Poison Heal up, so he's back up to 100. And I'm like, I can definitely take an Earthquake from this thing. I'm not worried about that. So I do Mega Evolve. He goes straight for the Toxic here. So I'm assuming you do have to Mega Evolve straight away if he's going to go for Toxic, because I had Poison Heal, so I could have stayed a normal Gardevoir. And I just went for Hyper Voice. It was going to do the most damage to this thing. It brought it down to 11%. Now, I was kind of debating what I wanted to do next here, because, of course, he's at a low range. So I believe I went for another Hyper Voice here. Yeah, he protects, and I went for another Hyper Voice because I would have destroyed this Gliscor. And now I was really debating here, because if he goes for sub, Hyper Voice will go through the sub and kill it. If he stays in and Earthquakes, Hyper Voice will kill it. But then I'm like, Psychic will get him from here, and his only switch in is Crobat. So I'm going to Psychic. And I decided he didn't have sub because he had 3 other non-attack moves, so I figured he'd have Earthquake. So I went for Psychic, and Crobat did come in. He could have also brought in Weavile, like maybe expecting that, but he didn't expect it. Brought in Crobat. I Psychicked him. He went down instantly from that, and bada bing, bada boom. Mr. Worldwide when I step in the room, because I'm a hustler, baby. So he takes some more, excuse me, some more toxic damage. I'm going to need to take a drink here so I'm not sipping so much. He brings in the Salamence. I believe I just... No, I switch out to Armaldo, because I know my Gardevoir is not going to take whatever this thing wants to go for. So I'm going to switch to Armaldo, see if he goes for a straight-up hitting move. But I think the only one where he'd actually make contact would be a Dragon-type move, and he wouldn't go for that in Gardevoir. So he just goes for Earthquake here. Excuse me. Needs some Pepsi Max, the official drink of Sharp Dress Gaming, not a sponsor. But he goes for Earthquake, and after Toxic, I'm going to be down at 23%, so another Earthquake's going to take me out. Unfortunately, Armaldo not being able to do much here. He did get Stealth Rocks up, which does come in quite handy, but I've been seeing that he's going straight for Earthquake, so I'm like, this thing's got to be Scarfed. But in a moment of stupidity, I brought out Typhlosions, and Typhlosion's not max speed. I'm like, no, he's going to outspeed. He's Scarfed. Well, I went for Hidden Power Ice anyway, and we outsped him. Turns out he was Scarfed, but he wasn't max speed. So we had just enough outspeed to outspeed the Salamence. He actually had a negative speed nature, he told me, because it was mixed ments. He had Flamethrower for Scissor, which is on our team, obviously. So here he brings in Weavile. I'm going to switch out Typhlosion. I'm going to save that sucker for Gliscor if it comes down to it. And I'm just going to bring in Gardevoir here. Gardevoir is not going to outspeed Gliscor or Weavile, and it's not going to be able to live much longer, so I'm just going to switch out. And he's going to be taking an Icicle Crash. Excuse me, still dry-throating here. So Gardevoir goes down to that Icicle Crash, because of course it does contact. Either way, he would have taken us out before the next turn. I bring Conkeldurr here, and I'm just going to go straight for that Mach Punch. I expected him to Ice Shard, but he must have not had it, or didn't care to go for it, because I just knock him out with the Mach Punch. So Conkeldurr gets a kill, and then Gliscor is going to come in. Now, considering max HP Conkeldurr, and Gliscor usually don't carry attack EVs, I'm like, oh, I'm going to live this Earthquake. I can just Ice Punch this Gliscor. Game, set, match. And that's what does end up happening. I live with 8%, and then Conkeldurr's Ice Punch will connect with this Gliscor, knocking him out for game. So I didn't even get to bring Typhlosion back in, but Typhlosion did bring a big pivotal point to this game by knocking out Salamence. So I'm really happy I brought Typhlosion. The main reason I brought Typhlosion is because I saw that fire weakness with Metagross and Weavile, and I've used Typhlosion once this season, and he died right away. It was against it was week 2. I don't know if I recorded week 2 or not. I think I started recording with week 3. Yeah, it was week 2, and he died to a Terrakion, I believe. Because I went for Extra Sensory, it didn't kill him. Yeah, because the Terrakion killed my Gardevoir, I brought in Typhlosion, I was going to Extra Sensory it, or one way or the other. I tried to Extra Sensory a Terrakion, is what I'm trying to say, and it didn't kill it, and he killed me back. So, anyway, guys, yeah, he was not expecting the Mirror Coat. Mirror Coat Melodic really pulled through. Typhlosion was amazing in this game, and of course Conkeldurr cleaning up at the end, like he usually does. I really like saving Conkeldurr for the end because he cleans up really well. And also, we were talking about things afterwards, and that's how I found out the Salamence was Choice Scarf, but it was negative speed. It also had Flamethrower. And then Crobat was not max speed, even though I put enough speed in Typhlosion to outspeed max speed Crobat. So that probably ended up saving us, actually, against the Salamence. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hopefully next time we can get things figured out. I don't know. Like I said, we might have to do away with webcam, which is rather unfortunate because I do like using the webcam, but I don't know. We'll see, guys. But thank you guys so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
See ya!
Hello everyone, and thanks for checking out the video. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to click on the links on the screen. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos as they come to your way. And if you want to go check out the GoFundMe, that'd be great too. Bye!